All right, so have you ever heard a piece of music, and it's not just bad, but like it's tapping into something sinister, something dark?
Yeah.
Like, music can be powerful, right?
Music can evoke a lot of emotions, absolutely.
Exactly. And today we're talking about the tritone,
Oh,
sometimes called the diabolis in musica or the devil's interval.
all right.
We're going to explore how this one little musical element has been used and abused throughout history, from classical music all the way to heavy metal.
Interesting.
And get this, we'll even uncover how it sneaks into some surprisingly uneven places.
Yeah, you might be surprised when you've heard this and not even realized it.
Okay, so before we get into like the devilish details,
Yeah.
can you just break down what a tritone actually is musically?
Yeah, so a tritone in the simplest terms is a combination of two notes that are a flatted fifth apart.
Okay,
Now that might not sound scary,
right.
but this specific interval creates a very strong dissonance.
So not exactly the sound you want to hear at the spa, right?
Not unless you like your massages with a side of existential dread. But seriously, dissonance is all about tension.
Mm,
Think about two people arguing.
right.
That clash is kind of like what a tritone does to your ears,
Yeah.
and it can trigger a really primal reaction in us.
So it's not just a music theory thing.
Right.
It's something that actually taps into how we experience the sound on like a deeper level.
Precisely. But here's the thing. Even though it's called the devil's interval, tritones have been used in music for centuries, long before Black Sabbath was around and Beethoven used them.
Wait, hold on, Beethoven.
Yeah.
Like the Furley's guy was messing around with the devil's interval.
Oh yeah, think about his opera Fidelio. He uses the tritone to depict Floristan's despair, his imprisonment.
Wow.
It's not about being evil, it's about conveying a powerful emotion.
Right.
And you can find tritones in Wagner's Götterdämmerung too, adding to the dramatic intensity of the music.
So it's more like a sonic spice that composers can use to just like add a certain flavor.
Right.
So where does this whole devil thing come from then?
Right.
Was there like some medieval music critic giving out bad reviews?
Well, the term diabolis in musica actually popped up in the Middle Ages.
Okay.
Back then, church authorities were very particular about their music.
Right.
They wanted it pure, harmonious, reflecting divine order.
Yeah, I guess a jarring tritone doesn't really fit the vibe.
Not exactly. There's this misconception that the tritone was outright banned by the church.
Right.
But that's not quite accurate.
Gotcha.
It was more like a strong disapproval, like showing up to a formal dinner in a ripped t-shirt.
Right, so composers might have used it, but they knew they were pushing the boundaries.
Exactly. But that association with the devil stuck, giving the tritone this aura of danger and rebellion that would last for centuries.
And eventually that rebellious spirit found a home in a new genre, heavy metal.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we have Tony Iommi of Black Sabbath to thank for unleashing the full power of the tritone on the world.
The opening riff of Black Sabbath, it's iconic. That dark, heavy, menacing sound. Pure tritone magic.
Absolutely.
But what's fascinating is Iommi wasn't like a music theory whiz. He kind of discovered the tritone by accident while listening to Holst's Mars, the bringer of war.
Interesting.
Talk about a musical lineage from classical war themes to the birth of heavy metal.
Yeah.
But how did he take that classical sound and turn it into something so Black Sabbathy?
Well, Iommi's a master of manipulating the tritone. You'll notice he doesn't just play it straight.
Right.
He adds trills rapidly alternating between the flatted fifth and the natural fifth to build that tension. He then layers distorted guitars, creating that massive, almost oppressive sound that defines Black Sabbath. It's not just the tritone, it's how he uses it.
And he wasn't alone, right? Didn't
Yeah.
the tritone become like a signature sound to heavy metal?
It absolutely did. Judas Priest, Metallica, Slayer. I mean, Slayer even named an album Diabolis in Musica.
Oh, wow.
They were fully embracing the tritone's legacy. It's like they tapped into the sonic energy that perfectly captured the intensity and angst of the music.
If you're a metalhead, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But here's the thing. The tritone doesn't just belong to headbangers.
Right.
It's got a secret life outside of heavy metal popping up in places you'd never expect.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll get to that in a bit.
We will. Yeah, it's true. The tritone has a way of like sneaking into all sorts of music.
Okay.
It's almost like it has a life of its own,
Right.
jumping from genre to genre.
All right. I am so ready for these, like, unexpected tritone sightings. Lay it on me.
Okay, well, remember how we were talking about the tritone tapping into something primal in us?
Mm-hmm.
Well, some music theorists believe that our aversion to dissonance, especially the tritone,
Yep.
might be rooted in our evolutionary biology.
Wait, you're telling me that our ancestors' fear of saber-toothed tigers is somehow connected to the devil's interval?
Well, think about it. Dissonance sounds similar to those produced by animals in distress could have signaled danger.
So on like a subconscious level, hearing a tritone might be like our brain getting a danger alert message.
It's a theory, but a fascinating one.
Yeah.
And it could help explain why the tritone has such a visceral impact.
Right. Even if we don't consciously know why.
That's wild. So this evil sound might actually be linked to our survival instincts.
Right.
The tritone just keeps getting more interesting. Okay, but you promised me some unexpected tritone cameos. Give me the goods.
All right, let's start with one of the most beloved musicals of all time, West Side Story.
Okay.
That iconic melody from Maria.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's got a tritone right in the heart of it.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm starting to hear everywhere now. It's like a musical Easter egg hunt.
Exactly. And how about this one? The Girl from Ipanema. That smooth bossa nova classic.
Yeah.
Tritone hiding in there too. Composers are sneaky.
Okay, you've officially blown my mind.
Uh-huh.
I need a minute to process this.
Take your time. But while you're processing, consider this. The Simpsons theme song. Pure, unadulterated tritone goodness, courtesy of Danny Elfman.
Wait, The Simpsons?
Yeah.
I've heard that intro a million times and never noticed.
All right.
That's amazing. It just goes to show even a sound with like a dark reputation
Can be used in playful and unexpected ways.
It all comes down to context and the composer's intention. The tritone can be spooky and menacing in a horror movie score, but it can also be quirky and fun in a cartoon theme.
So the devil's interval might actually be more like a musical Swiss Army knife.
Exactly. It's versatile. It can be sharp and dangerous, or it can add a surprising twist of flavor. It all depends on how you use it.
Alright, you've convinced me the tritone is officially off the hook for being purely evil.
Okay.
But we haven't even touched on how it's used in genres that are known for pushing boundaries, like prog rock.
Prog rock is a treasure trove of tritone goodness.
Oh yeah.
Those bands love to experiment with complex harmonies and dissonances, and the tritone fits right in.
Give me some highlights.
Well, how about Rush's YYZ? That iconic opening riff is pure tritone magic. They're not even hiding it. It's right there in your face.
And if you want a tritone-fueled descent into musical madness,
oh yeah.
check out King Crimson's Red.
Yes.
That descending tritone creates this unsettling, almost nightmarish vibe.
Prog rock bands are fearless. They're not afraid to use the tritone to create something truly unique and challenging, and that's what makes it so exciting to listen to.
Okay, one more stop on our tritone world tour.
All right.
Where else can we find this shape-shifting sonic chameleon lurking in modern music?
Well, it seems like wherever there's interesting music, the tritone isn't too far behind, you know?
Right.
It's found its way into like modern genres and stuff.
Okay, so we're talking present day now. Where's the tritone hiding now? Give me some examples.
Okay, so let's head over to like the indie rock scene.
Okay.
The Strokes, for example, they have this killer riff in Juicebox.
Oh, yeah.
It's just this repeated E to B flat on the guitar.
Uh-huh.
And guess what? That B flat is a tritone relative to E.
Seriously, I love that song. I never would have picked that out.
See, the tritone is sneaky like that. And it's not just limited to rock.
Right.
Even hip-hop artists like Busta Rhymes have embraced it.
Oh, wow.
Check out his track.
Ooh-ha.
Got you all in check. There's this repeated tritone bass line that just adds this constant underlying tension.
Yeah.
It's so catchy, it hooks you right in.
Okay, you've officially made me a tritone believer. Maybe we need a new nickname for this thing.
Yeah.
The Devil's Interval just doesn't cut it anymore.
How about the sonic chameleon?
Okay.
It blends in, adapts to different styles, but always leaves its own unique mark on the music.
I like it. It's a shapeshifter. So it sounds like the tritone isn't just like some historical footnote.
Right.
Musicians are still using it today, even in ways that are pushing boundaries.
Absolutely. And it's not just about using the tritone for shock value or to sound edgy,
Right.
Remember how we talked about its potential connection to our evolutionary past?
Yeah.
Well, some modern composers are deliberately using the tritone to create unease and tension in their music.
Really?
They're playing with that primal reaction we have to dissonance.
So it's like they're using music to tap into our subconscious.
Exactly. They're creating a visceral experience that goes beyond just the notes themselves. It's a reminder of the power music has to affect us on a deep emotional level.
So what have we learned today? What's the big takeaway from our tritone adventure?
I think it shows us that music is full of surprises. Even the simplest elements can have a rich history and a whole range of possibilities.
We often take for granted those building blocks of music, but they all have a story to tell.
Exactly. And the tritone with its long and complicated past is a perfect example. It's been demonized, celebrated, and everything in between.
Right.
But it continues to thrive, showing up in new and unexpected ways, proving that some musical ideas never really go out of style.
So next time you're listening to music, I dare you to really listen.
Yeah.
Pay attention to the details.
Absolutely.
You might be surprised at what you discover lurking beneath the surface.
Oh,
Who knows, you might even catch the sonic chameleon in action.
you might. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the fascinating world of music.
And speaking of sonic adventures, if you're looking for a band that truly understands the power of the tritone, you can't go wrong with Black Sabbath.
Their entire discography is a masterclass in using dissonance and heavy riffs to create something truly unforgettable.
Honestly, every album is a masterpiece. There are just too many great songs to recommend just one.
I couldn't agree more. Black Sabbath is a force of nature.
And if anyone out there hasn't experienced the brilliance of Black Sabbath, well, just punch yourself in the face and go listen right now. Yeah. You won't regret it.